Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be talking about the Brooklyn Nets and their off season. All right, ended kind of disappointing the year with them losing against the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 7, as a lot of people were hoping for them to go to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. I wasn't expecting them. I had said that for a while. I did not expect them to even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And that is because outside of James, okay, so let's talk first. James Harden, 43 million, KD 40, Kyrie 34. Behind that, it's Joe Harris with 17. It would be Spencer Dinwiddie with 12, but he's going to decline that. DeAndre Jordan's on the books for 9, with Jeff Green being a free agent, Landry Shamet being on the books for 3.7 next year, Tyler Johnson, Timothy Luau, Cabarro, Bruce Brown, all being free agents. Nicholas Claxton, 1.7. Elise Johnson, 1.7 as well, and Blake's a free agent. So is James, Tuoza, and Reggie Perry. But Reggie Perry's on a two-way, and so is Chioza, so they'll probably be brought back. Now, what do we do? Like, they also had this past year they had what was an Iman Shumpert on in the past last year before that. They had a bunch of other players. So the thing is getting depth. The biggest offseason question is depth. Okay, like this is a team that for most of the year they were just trying to get their bench. They first need to re-sign Bruce Brown. Look, Bruce Brown, it can't score is not true. He can score, okay? He fits the description of what they need. They need glue guys to properly function. And Brown is basically a human adhesive. He's 6'4", 202 pounds. He's listed as guard, but he often functions as a screen-setting big on offense and checks about everybody on defense. He's basically their Swiss Army knife. And he's an entering restricted free agent. Yes, his shooting limitation is career 20.9, 29% three-point shooter. And his defensive end intensity, fully rev motor, rim attack, flexibility as a ball handler, playmaker, willingness to play with all guts, little glory role is such an on-court asset that they need to sit down and make sure they keep Bruce Brown. Next, look for sign and trade options with Spencer Dinwiddie. He's declining that shit, and he has said it was announced today. So let's find a sign and trade, okay? And who could we see them bring in on a sign and trade? Like, they right now have a projected 53.4 million tax bill, which is pretty large. But with that being said, their total for this upcoming year with like the guys they have on the books. So this year they had 166.3 million in how much cap space is used. With the guys that I just mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6, 7, 8. Those 8 guys, and if you include Spencer Dinwiddie, they're already at 166.5. Now take off 12, that's 154. They're not in much room to operate with cap space. So they're going to have to do a lot of, cooking and frying, looking for ways to make things work. And it's going to definitely be interesting. Like, they went through so many people. Like, Iman Shumpert played one game for the Nets and then got released and then got brought back on a 10-day contract. They even brought in Andre Roberson, who, in theory, Andre Roberson, if he had recovered, he might have, been able. Like, he didn't play. He played 2 games for the Nets, and in those 2 games, he wasn't terrible. I mean, shooting-wise, yeah, but defensively, he wasn't terrible. Like, it's pretty crazy to think about that we didn't see him for like 3 years, Andre Roberson. But he, in theory, could be a great guy off the bench, just a defensive stopper. That's something they also need. They need defensive guys. Now, Spencer Dinwiddie, who could you get? You'd want guys like Grant Hill, another guy that they maybe would want. Jeff Teague, DJ Augustine, those like type of backup point guards they need. Corey Joseph, Patty Mills. Patty Mills isn't going anywhere. He's staying in San Antonio. But now they need a mid-level exception. Look, DeAndre Jordan, is there something wrong with DeAndre Jordan? Like, tell me why he didn't play at all. They had the 22nd overall defense, 22nd ranked overall defense, and that was the second worst mark among all playoff teams. And that was their fatal flaw. And their options were so limited that they entrusted Blake Griffin, a wobbly defender, during his prime as the primary matchup against Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning MVP of the past 2 seasons. So the Brooklyn's basically need to look at a direct challenge and find, basically, besides Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie, everyone else should be a defender. Like when you look at this roster, they should be looking at anybody that could be impactful defensively outside there. Like you can keep Joe Harris, but if you can find a guy who's a little bit worse with a 3-point shooter than Joe Harris, but extremely better at defense, you might just sit there and be like, fine. I would try to keep Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, who's a good defender. You could probably keep him on minimum. Mike James would be nice to keep on minimum if possible, but he might get signed. But Joe Harris, if you can find, like, try to get Robert Covington. Landry Shamet, same thing. So get a guy like, you know, Garrett Temple, Avery Bradley, Mo Harkless, James Ennis III, Chris Dunn, or even Joe Jankset are all decent defenders who can shoot that would give them better option. And obviously they want to keep all their veterans. Jeff Green came on a veteran minimum pack, which won't be happening. Same thing with Blake Griffin, won't be happening. And they were essential parts of the rotation. Like Green Griffin were 5th and 6th off the bench, like 5th and 6th in minutes in Game 7. They hold significant spots in Nash's circle of trust, and it seems like they want. You know, a guy they could try and get, JaMychal Green, would be great. And on draft night, you know, there's guys that they can go for. They have the 27th pick, so you know, Jeremiah Robinson Earl would be perfect for them. He's super versatile. He's a very nice guy, humble as fuck. And I think out of, you know, Aaron Henry, Jared Butler, Joel Ayayi, Ayo Desanu, and Trey Murphy, all are good fits. But I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl, especially from the success of Sadiq Bey, I think would be the best option right there. Now, if they can keep Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Blake Griffin, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, and Mike James, are all would be great. Would be freaking great. Yes. Like, I think they could be good fits. Definitely would be able to help contribute. And this is a team that can easily get back to where they were. There's nothing keeping them. Nicholas Claxton's a great modern day forward, but you want another guy exactly like Nicholas Claxton, okay? And that would be like, hopefully, I'm trying to think, you know, Dwight Howard would obviously be fantastic in that role. Another guy that they could look for, I mean, try to draft someone similar to Isaiah Stewart, maybe trade for Udoka Azubuike. Those are my thoughts right there. What do you guys think the Brooklyn Nets need to do? Well, that's basically it for me today, guys. I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. I'm just hanging out, doing my thing, eating shit. Not really, but I'm gonna get baked. But yeah, let me hear your thoughts. That's it, guys. I hope you guys did very much enjoy this. Till next time, guys. Peace out.